Greetings, everybody. My name is Isaac, and I am here today to welcome you to the first ever episode of the I Am NAMI Kansas podcast, a mental health podcast by Kansans for Kansans. In today's episode, we'll be introducing you to NAMI Kansas, our history and how we operate, as well as what we do for Kansans. I'll be talking with Dr. Sherry Vaughn, the executive director of NAMI Kansas, to learn more about what we do here. And then we'll follow up with a conversation with Stacey and SJ just to get a feel for real life experiences with NAMI Kansas and what we do. We'll close off the podcast with a conversation about what comes next for NAMI Kansas and what to keep an eye out for in 2024. But first, we got to understand what NAMI Kansas even is. So let's get into the history a bit. So NAMI, which stands for the National Alliance on Mental Illness, began in 1977 as a conversation between two mothers over lunch. Harriet Shetler and Beverly Young, both in Madison, Wisconsin, were concerned about the lack of resources and healthcare for their adult sons with schizophrenia. They also knew that they were not the only families experiencing this hardship, but community for them was nowhere to be found. Determined to change this, Shetler and Young spread the word about their new organization. Within 6 months, they had 75 members. Within 2 years, there were nearly 60 groups from almost 30 states. In September of 1979, NAMI was officially established. Today, NAMI is the largest grassroots nonprofit organization dedicated to mental health in the United States. There are over 600 affiliates in 49 states and Washington, D.C., all of which are primarily run by volunteers. NAMI Kansas is one of these 50 state-level affiliates, which means that the NAMI presence here is directed by Kansans and directed towards Kansans. NAMI Kansas helps to organize local affiliates, which serve specific regions within the state. Currently, there are 14 affiliates in Kansas that serve a total of 57 counties. But what does NAMI do exactly? Our services are geared to meet 3 goals. 1, people get help early. 2, people get the best possible care. And 3, people get diverted from the justice system. We strive to achieve these goals through support, education, advocacy, and leading the conversation on mental health. The ultimate goal is to listen to the needs of people directly impacted by mental health conditions and to help build community to address those needs and concerns. So NAMI offers a number of signature programs, and to learn more about it, I would like to introduce Dr. Sherry Vaughn. Welcome, Dr. Vaughn.
Thank you, Isaac.
So I'm glad we get to talk about this today and show everyone what we get to do. As I previously mentioned, you are the executive director of NAMI Kansas, and the state office is in the Westridge Mall in Topeka, Kansas. You've called this office space the front porch. So can you tell us more about the front porch and your vision with office spaces and community locations across Kansas?
Absolutely. But in order to tell that story, I have to tell how I became involved with NAMI. So in December of 2017, I read a job description for the executive director of NAMI Kansas. I read through that job description and I'm wondering, where have they been? And then I read the job description to my daughter, who was 20 at that time. And she said, "Mom, where have they been?" Now, why is that an important question? Because by this time in our journey, my daughter had her first episode of psychosis at age 12. So we have been on this 8-year-long journey with mental health providers, and not one provider said anything to us about NAMI. And as I read through the stories of the people who had been involved with NAMI, who had received services and help from NAMI, I kept reading this common theme. NAMI family to family saved my life. NAMI peer to peer saved my life. NAMI basic saved my life. If not for the NAMI family, I don't know where I would be today. And I thought, why have we not been informed about NAMI? And so I applied, got the position, started, and we were in a very obscure building in downtown Topeka on the 4th floor. I would experience people coming in seeking services, whether it's for themselves or for a family member. And I began to notice this level of anxiety with them. And so I thought that through. I said, well, why are people so anxious when they walk in here? We already know that they're coming to receive services, ask for help, find help. So we know there's already a level of anxiety, but this seems a little different. And so as I began to think that through, downtown Topeka, trying to find a parking space in downtown Topeka, that's difficult. You see these tow zones all over the place, parking for 1 hour, no parking. So we were already creating this hurdle, this barrier for people coming to seek. We had no signage outside to let them know that they even had the right building. And if they found a place to park, found the building, made it inside the building, there was no signage inside to let them know they needed to get on the elevator and go to the top floor to see somebody at the NAMI Kansas office. So I began having this conversation with my staff. And I said, we have got to get out from behind the 6-foot privacy fence and get out on the front porch. And so my staff in response, well, where do you think that front porch is? And I said, well, I think it is at the Westridge Mall. I think we've got to get out where people are doing life, doing day-to-day living, where they're shopping, where they're eating, where they're congregating, where they're just walking and being with friends and family members and others. We've got to get out on the front porch. And so staff members went out to Westridge Mall, began that conversation, and we moved in December 2019. And so that is the front porch.
So it's more accessible then to people, and it gets our name out there, and it lets people know that we're here to help them.
Right. And begins to eliminate the stigma of mental illness. We have a sign out front, just like Journeys would have a sign, or Lens Crafters has a sign. NAMI right outside of our space at the Westridge Mall. And we have people step in. I've heard about NAMI, or I received services from NAMI, or what is NAMI? And we start the conversation.
And you're wanting to replicate this in other places around Kansas too, right?
Yes, we are. And we actually have one that's been quite successful. They just started earlier this year, NAMI Flint Hills, and they have their front porch at the Salvation Army there in Manhattan, Kansas. And they are experiencing numbers of people coming in and asking, who is NAMI? What do you do here? Getting excited about it, asking for services, looking for opportunities to volunteer and to help. It's been absolutely amazing for NAMI Flint Hills, and I'm excited for them.
Yeah, I'm excited for them too. Which, speaking of that, I had previously mentioned that there were 14 affiliates here in Kansas. NAMI Flint Hills is one of them. What do these affiliates do?
Well, they are the boots on the ground. They are the actual volunteers and hands-on and trained program leaders that are providing the NAMI services that I just spoke of. The NAMI education classes, the NAMI support groups. They are the ones delivering those services and meeting people where they're at within their communities as well.
So currently, the 14 affiliates serve a total of 57 counties. Is there a way for us to expand, or is it going to be like that forever?
We want to expand. We started a campaign called 105 and 25. We started that campaign a couple years ago. In just that short time, we have added nearly 30 counties in 2022, and to date in 2023, we have 48 more to go. So definitely, if there's anybody interested that may be in any one of those 48 counties that says, hey, we want to bring NAMI services here into our community, contact me at svaughn@namikansas.org.
And if you want to find a list of which counties NAMI Kansas serves, you go to our website, namikansas.org. There is an affiliate map there, so you can see which affiliate serves your county, and if not, don't fret. We can still help in some way. Just let us know.
Or get you connected with your local affiliate, as well, if there's one that exists in your county. And another page that you can go to on the website is the About Us, and click on affiliates. And you can open that up and you can find out where every affiliate is, what county they serve, and the contact information for that affiliate.
Outside of those things, is there anything else that NAMI Kansas does?
Yes. So we also have the third pillar of advocacy, and we offer a NAMI Smarts for Advocacy, which is a training to help individuals who want to get involved with advocacy at the policy level, whether it is with their city, their county, or the state, and to go and advocate on behalf of mental health policies, mental illness policies, and get those policies changed and improved to increase access to care for those who have a lived experience of mental illness, and to just participate in that legislative policymaking process. So we have that training as well.
Awesome. So there's advocacy. We mentioned resources earlier as well.
Yes, and we have an amazing NAMI Kansas resource director, Isaac Johnson.
That's me.
That's Isaac. We offer free resource services to anybody who calls, emails, finds us on Facebook through instant messaging, or they walk in and ask, "What do you do? How can I get help?" And Isaac is the front person for that service. And would you like to speak more about that and what you do from day to day?
Yeah, I suppose I like to call myself a broker. In terms of when you come in, ask for help, I help you find the place you need to go to, the people you need to talk to. So maybe that's, I'm trying to find a therapist. Okay, well, here's a list of therapists in your area that match what you're looking for. My loved one got arrested recently. What do I do? Okay, I'm going to connect you with people who know things about law and who can maybe help advise you and what to do next. Maybe you need to complain about a hospital. Okay, I can get you to the place where you can file a grievance or complaint. Maybe you're just trying to find your local NAMI affiliate. I can do that too. That's an easy one. So again, I call myself a broker of resources. I'm here to connect you. I'm the little operator. You dial 0. I connect you to the right place that you need to go. That is what we do at the resource line.
Excellent descriptor.
And there's also resource lines that are specific to certain affiliates too. So if you call the main helpline, you'll go to me. But you can call like the NAMI Flint Hills helpline, the NAMI Central Kansas helpline, all these other helplines that can also help as well. They're just more specific to that area they're in.
Exactly. And we also receive text at the
Yes.
main NAMI Kansas resource line.
I really like texting, honestly, please. It sometimes calling people back can be a hassle with schedule. So absolutely, texting is totally allowed.
Absolutely. And then we have that fourth pillar of lead the conversation, which is what we're doing right here today. Leading the conversation about mental illness, access to mental health care, and just improving the lives of those who live with mental illness and their families, their friends, and the communities as well. So we're leading the conversation through I Am NAMI Kansas podcast, one of many ways in which we're going to do that in 2024.
And what other programs do we have that we might be seeing support or leading the conversation?
Would this be a great time to talk about the potential book that we're preparing?
It's one of the avenues there. Yeah.
Right. So and let me share how that came about. So we recognized through the 105 and 25 campaign that our rural and frontier communities were struggling, right? They are mental health deserts in some of these rural and frontier counties. They may have to drive 2 hours to get to a mental health provider. That's one example. So as we began to look at this, we recognized that we needed to do more and we needed to step up more on leading the conversation and building and listening to our communities. That's our charge, build and listen to our communities. And so we did our first mental health summit for rural and frontier counties in August of 2023 at Dodge City. We have a second mental health summit for rural and frontier counties in Bogue City, which is in Graham County, just northwest of Hayes, Kansas. We're going to do that on March 12th, 2024. And again, that's to build and listen to our communities. And for this one, I think we're going to go with a faith-based perspective on that. So let me go back to our August summit that we did in Dodge City. So from that summit, lots of attention happened across the state of Kansas. A.J. Dome, who is an author, a writer, journalist for The Reflector, did an article on it. Absolutely amazing. From that article, a publisher reached out to me at NAMI Kansas and said, what do you think about writing a book about mental health in our rural and frontier communities? So I pulled together some of our team. We talked about it. We said, yes, we want to do this. So we have a proposal waiting with this publisher's office in hopes to start that work on writing this specific book that's going to be storytelling from our rural and frontier communities about their lived experiences concerning mental illness and access to mental health care. So we'll be writing a book in 2024 if all goes well.
That's so exciting. I'm also thinking about out in Western Kansas, we do have some, volunteers and staff members out there, like Itzel, who does a lot of great work out there. I didn't know if you want to speak more about what she does at all.
Absolutely. So Itzel her role is twofold. One, she's a NAMI Kansas staff member. She's leading the Assisted Outpatient Treatment Program, which is a partnership with KDAS, the Kansas Department of Aging and Disability Services, and 6 community mental health centers across the state of Kansas to implement assisted outpatient treatment. So she's leading the NAMI Kansas side of that very valuable program. And we're going to learn more about assisted outpatient treatment. I'm going to call it AOT a few episodes down, and Itzel will be here to talk about that and share about what that is and how it's impacting our rural and frontier communities as well. But then her second role is a volunteer role that she does as the chair of the NAMI Southwest Kansas affiliate, which was one of those 30 counties that came online for NAMI Kansas in August of 2022.
Awesome. So we're going to have Itzel on the show later. We'll also be hearing from some other employees as well, including Dr. Harms and what she's doing. And that's another thing NAMI Kansas does as well, right?
Yes, it is. So we implemented the Justice Involved Persons program in October of 2021. So we just started the 3rd year of the Justice Involved Persons program, and that is to take our NAMI peer-to-peer and our NAMI connection into 3 state correctional facilities. So we have the correctional facility for Topeka, in Topeka for women. We have the Hutchinson Correctional Facility in Hutchinson and the Norton County Correctional Facility. And so all 3 of those state correctional facilities are offering peer-to-peer and NAMI connection through our trained program leaders who have come on staff to go do that. We are the only state organization in the nation that has program leaders in those program areas that are paid staff to go and deliver that program. And then we are also offering our NAMI connection in some of our county jails across the state of Kansas. We just brought on Wyandotte County. We also offer it in Butler County, in Reno County, and I want to say Riley County as our 4th one. And then looking for opportunities to start up NAMI connection and NAMI peer-to-peer for some of our correctional supervised services programs in the state of Kansas. So this would be the community corrections organizations in the state of Kansas. We have one who is on track to get that implemented. That's Barton County. And then we are also in communication with Johnson County for doing the same thing.
Wow, there's a lot. This is a lot of stuff that Kansas does. I'm expecting that some people listening to this are interested in learning more and getting involved, as very frequently see this happen. People learn about us and say, what can I do? So let me ask that to you. What can someone do to get involved with NAMI Kansas?
There are many avenues in which you can get involved. One, you can get online and go find an affiliate in your local area and reach out to those affiliate leaders and ask them, how can I get involved with my local affiliate? Or you can contact me at svaughn@namikansas.org and find out how you can get involved at a state level as well, whether it's getting trained in any one of those programs that we talked about, or getting involved in one of our board committees, such as the NAMI Kansas Development Committee or the Governance Committee. There are many committees that you can get involved in at the state level, or even become involved with the NAMI Kansas Board of Directors as well. You could become a member of NAMI. Again, it could be a membership with your local affiliate, and we encourage you to do that. Right. There are some NAMI Smarts trainings coming up as well. You can contact Chris Chastain, who is our Policy and Advocacy Director. You can reach him at advocacy@namikansas.org to see when those training dates are coming up, or go on our website. And again, go to Support and Education, look up NAMI Smarts, and those trainings are listed there with dates and registrations for them as well. We have KMHC, the Kansas Mental Health Coalition, has their Mental Health Advocacy Day in March. I believe it's March 13, 2024. That seems right.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know it was like on the 7th.
It's in March, right? It's in March of 2024. So you can come and join the Mental Health Advocacy Day as well. Get trained in NAMI Smarts for advocacy. Go and talk to your legislator. Get involved that way as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on to talk about everything that NAMI Kansas does. That's a lot of information for people to stew on there. So hopefully you've gotten something out of this to our dear listeners. Next up, I'd like to talk with two guests, SJ and Stacey, about their involvements with NAMI Kansas, so we can see what a real life testimony looks like here.
Absolutely. Thank you, Isaac.
All right. So with me now, I have Stacey Liddon, who has been a part of NAMI Kansas for a number of years. So hi, Stacey.
Hi, Isaac.
I'm glad you're here today.
Long time no see.
Yeah. So I have kind of a broad question for you, but I'd like to give people a sense of what it's like being involved with NAMI Kansas and what kind of impact it can have on people. Okay. So for you, what brought you to NAMI Kansas, and why have you stayed involved with us?
Okay, well, the question I usually get is, why did you come to Kansas? Or Topeka? Well, what brought me to NAMI Kansas specifically was because I was new to the area. And I've known about NAMI a long time because I've been in the mental health industry. Is it an industry? That sounds really corporate.
No, it's kind of an industry, yeah.
It is an industry. So just to back up a little bit, I am a recipient of mental health services. I live with anxiety and depression and some pretty notable PTSD. And so with that, I've kind of been in a role of peer support specialist since about 2005. And so when I moved here, because that's a long time. And so when I moved here, I was definitely out of my element. I didn't know anybody. And so I was in deep depression. And I knew because I've received mental health services ever since I was a teenager, and then directly into the adult SMI, system, seriously mentally ill system, right into my 18th birthday. So that's just kind of like followed me. It's always how I've known it. So as soon as I moved here, the first thing, anytime I've moved or anything, you got to get set up with services right away. And so I was new to the community, and then had to go set up services. But I didn't know anybody in the community, at all. And so my depression really got, super bad. I mean, I was already depressed. But it like it got really dark. New town, don't know anybody, kind of back into a toxic family situation. Actually kind of classified homeless and then awaiting public housing. And so I started to recognize that it was getting super dark and I needed to be around my people that spoke the language of recovery and believed in mental health recovery, because that's what I was used to. And that's what helped me in the past. And I knew that if I don't get around people that believed in like hope in recovery, that I didn't want to go down. I didn't want to go down that dark path again. And so I knew that maybe I should start volunteering, have something to do regularly. But I needed something to do, and I didn't know, this is like completely different. It was like culture shock coming to a different town.
So what I'm hearing is, you moved from Phoenix to Topeka. You're kind of roughing it out in this new city. You're looking for assistance. You're feeling pretty depressed. How did you find NAMI Kansas specifically?
Well, I knew about NAMI because I knew about the walks because in my other hometown, I always participated in the walks, designed the t-shirts for our teams and stuff. And I was like, I want to do that again and be around those people. And so I started volunteering. And then right about the time Sherry had come on. And so it just kind of worked from there. And it just started doing more and more. And the next thing I knew, I was working full time and was able to, working full time.
And what has working with NAMI Kansas done for you? Do you think it's helped you in any way?
Well, yeah, I've grown. I have a support system of people that believe in me. And that's huge for my mental health wellness. And part of what I need on a daily basis is to have a support system of people that believe in me. And to be able to have the creative freedom at work. And to know that people that understand and not afraid to face the different ebbs and flows of what mental health challenges and symptoms could look like. Because it's different person to person, and all the education is here, So if you got a question about mental health challenges, whether it's something as you're new to feeling anxiety and you don't know what to do about it, to, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that I've been living with this my whole life, and you're just now figuring it out, or you're just newly diagnosed, because there is life after diagnosis. And this is a place to because now that you know what it is, now you know how to treat it, so to speak.
I really like that. There is life after diagnosis. I feel like that's a concept that maybe seems apparent to those of us who keep, living life. But I feel like in the broader kind of scheme of things, sometimes people don't view it like that. Like a diagnosis can be a death sentence in their view.
If you got supports around you, and if you have the ability, or you're in an environment where you can actually talk about it, then and you have the ability and the it being okay to ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
This is a place where it's okay to ask for help, and
as in the supports is what makes that life after diagnosis possible, that
because once
a fulfilling life in a recovery,
right?
So obviously, Stacey, you've gone through a lot, but what I'm hearing is that it's through places like NAMI Kansas that you're able to find the support you need to make your recovery. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story with us, Stacey. That's really helpful for a lot of people to hear, just to hear firsthand what you went through and how NAMI Kansas has helped you. So thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome. And I can't wait to come back.
All right, so next up we have SJ Hazim.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, SJ. He joined the party, the crew this year, and he was just recently elected the vice president of our board of directors.
Woo-hoo.
So congratulations to SJ.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm so excited about that.
Yeah, and we have you here today because obviously you are very passionate about what we're doing here at NAMI Kansas, even though you only kind of joined us recently. So my sort of broad question to you then is, what about NAMI Kansas makes you so passionate? And what does it mean for you to be involved with us now?
Well, I didn't even know you guys existed. Y'all was called the best kept secret for a long time, and it was kept from me, just like the secrets that I'd been holding for years from everybody else, which I'm still holding. But the reason I feel so comfortable with NAMI and I'm so happy about being a part of it is because I feel like I finally found some protection. Talking about the stigma or even the discriminatory practices that happen with mental health when somebody knows that you deal with it or how you're treated. It's scary to talk about. And culturally, it's never been okay for me to talk about as a Black man and everything else. So what I find what you guys are doing at NAMI, what we're doing at NAMI now, is we want to make it a household name. We want people to know that they can actually get help, and there's a place where people actually care when you talk about some of your challenges. I just had to be a part of this because my whole life is a mental health story. So that's some of it. And one of the other things, we see this online a whole lot in commercials and every place else. Right now they're saying it's okay to say that you're not okay. And in theory, that sounds good. You know, we want everything to be pink rainbows and butterflies and stuff. But you know what? I don't have the luxury to be able to just sit here and say I'm not okay and that's okay, because that's not okay at all, because I have a family to support. I have bills to pay. I have kids to raise. I have all these different things going. And if I can't get out the bed that day, it's a problem. So I have to get up. I have to. I have no choice in that option. So it's like, as much as some things sound good, we have to face reality and look at what's really going on out here, because it's hard to make a dollar bill.
Because it's also going past just saying you're not okay, because you can say I'm depressed, but that's not helping you any, right?
Why do I got to come over here and tell you every time I have something going on in my mind or whatever else? So I'm in here because I want to see some laws changed. I want to see a lot of different things change, because right now, the way that things are going on with mental health is, I think it's like checking a box to say that, hey, we care here. But at the end of the day, when you go through it, you find out that the people really don't care. And so therefore, that's why people aren't coming out and talking about this stuff, because it's hard.
Absolutely. So, you know, it feels performative in a way, maybe. Like, tell me that you're feeling bad, but I'm not actually going to do anything to help you.
Right. It's like I'll call in and say something, and then they want to ask me what my symptoms are. Right.
And so we want broader change.
There's people who really live with this and deal with this on an everyday basis and have to fight, you know, to try to get their point across or whatever. But I'm at a point where I feel NAMI is doing real work. I feel protected with them. I don't feel judged, and I feel I've found a place that's home. And so with that, I'm going to put 100% into my 100% of my energy, efforts, resources, and everything to help make NAMI Kansas and NAMI National a household name.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story.
Thank you for having me.
So, what comes next for NAMI Kansas in 2024? Well, we have a number of things coming up. Every May, we hold our annual NAMI Walks fundraiser event. This year, it'll be on May 18th, and it'll happen at the Westridge Mall in Topeka, Kansas. If you don't live near Topeka, don't worry. You don't have to physically be at the event to support awareness. If you want to learn more information about the NAMI Walks event, feel free to send an email to walks@namikansas.org, and Kansas is spelled all the way out, so Kansas, walks@namikansas.org, or go to namiwalks.org/Kansas. Also, keep your eyes peeled for some other fun updates from us. We're going to be doing some more events out in Western Kansas regarding mental health in rural and frontier communities. And we're also looking forward to writing a book about mental health in those communities as well. Additionally, this January marks the beginning of the 2024 legislative session here in Kansas. So keep an eye out for advocacy opportunities. If you want to learn more about that, feel free to email Chris at advocacy@namikansas.org. In March, we're going to have our Mental Health Advocacy Day, so keep an eye out for that as well. Currently, we're on track to serve 10,000 people in the 2023 to 2024 fiscal year, which is very exciting. We're also looking to expand NAMI Kansas so that we're in all 105 counties by 2025. We still have 48 to go, and if we're not in your county, please reach out to us so we can figure out how best to serve your community. If you're interested in participating in any of our classes or our support groups, please go to namikansas.org. On our website, we have a list of all our support groups and our classes that you can find in our Support and Education tab. In that tab, you can also figure out where to register, who to contact, all the information you're going to need to succeed. Lastly, if you're looking for any more information about us, feel free to check NAMI Kansas out on Facebook or on LinkedIn. We'll have updates on those pages as well. If you liked what you heard today, go ahead and follow us, rate us, and leave us a comment. Stay tuned for our next episode about mental health in rural and frontier communities. You won't want to miss this. And remember, there is nothing about us without us. I am NAMI Kansas.